this evening. First, we'll discuss the ongoing negotiations between the government of Panama and the Ghana Rice Development Board. The focus is on resolving the outstanding debt of approximately $7 million owed to Guyanese millers as a result of a rice deal made under the previous government. The Attorney General has shared insights into the proposed payment plan and the potential for Ghana to forego accrued interest. In local news, the Ghana Fire Service is facing challenges with multiple fires across the country. We'll delve into the recent incidents in Sophia and South Rhinefeldt Gardens, which have left several individuals homeless. The Fire Service is emphasizing the need for public awareness and precautions, highlighting essential fire safety measures. The Ministry of Housing and Water has announced the government's plan to regularize 8 squatting areas in 2024. We'll explore the details of this initiative, which follows the regularization of 13 areas between 2020 and 2023, benefiting many households. In business news, small business owners in Region 4 received their small business grants through the Small Business Bureau. The Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce spoke at the ceremony, underscoring the government's commitment to the small business sector and its importance to the economy. Finally, we report on a disturbing development in Ecuador, where at least 10 people have been killed in recent gang violence. In a shocking incident, armed men broke into a television station in Guayaquil during a live broadcast, threatening the staff. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for January 10th, 2024. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, negotiations are currently underway between the governments of Panama and the Ghana Rice Development Board to resolve the outstanding debt of approximately $7 million owed to Guyanese millers. The debt originated from a rice deal made under the previous APNU-AFC government, where large quantities of rice were sold to Panama on credit without comprehensive payment terms. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal stated that the Panamanian government has proposed a payment plan. Ghana may consider foregoing interest that has accrued on the debt. Despite legal proceedings filed at the International Chamber of Commerce Arbitration Center, concerns about enforcing a favorable ruling against a government entity might lead to a settlement to ensure a swift resolution. The outstanding debt has been due for over 7 years. In other news, the Ghana Fire Service faces an ongoing challenge battling multiple fires, emphasizing the need for public awareness and precautions. In 2 recent incidents, houses in Sophia and South Rhinefeldt Gardens were destroyed, rendering several individuals homeless. The first fire in Sophia resulted from an overloaded electrical circuit, while the second in South Rhinefeldt Gardens was caused by a child playing with a lighter. The fire service highlights the importance of fire safety measures, including equipping homes with extinguishers and smoke detectors, avoid leaving children unattended, and educating them about fire hazards. Citizens are urged to exercise caution to prevent home fires. Moving on, during a recent press briefing, Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell said the government will be regularizing 8 squatting areas in 2024. The government has regularized 13 squatting areas between 2020 and 2023 in regions 2, 3, 4, and 10, benefiting 1,644 households. This year's areas earmarked for regularization includes Philadelphia Railway, Barnwell Railway, De William, and Virgin Union Tushin. In Region 4, over 400 lots will also undergo regularization. Minister Crow said one of the major focuses this year will be the removal of the entire riverbank between Herstellin and Diamond on the east bank of the Demerara. The ministry has already initiated discussions with individuals regarding their relocation, and many have been assigned house lots. Some interested in the housing program have been directed to the bank. This is a commitment made by President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali when he visited the area last year. Similarly, to address squatting on the Sioux-Dyke Highway, President Ali announced the creation of 500 lots for a relocation process. He elaborated on the regularization process, stating that the ministry conducts an occupation survey, engages with each household, assigns a number to each structure, and follows an allocation system. Minister Crowell emphasized that individuals squatting who were previously allocated a house lot will not be officially recognized. These initiatives reflect the government's commitment to improving the living conditions of citizens. Stick around when we return. Ministry of Human Services distributes tools and certificates to 63 participants in WIN program and illegal alcohol and other items found in an abandoned vessel at Berbice.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Our smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
GCOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors OLE. If you will be 18 years or over by December 31, 2023, and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM has posted the preliminary list of electors PLE for all registration divisions at popular locations across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can make a claim for registration if you are not listed, change correction to your particulars if they are incorrect, or object to the inclusion of anyone who you believe should not be on the list. If you are desirous of making a claim or objection, you must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to do so. The claims aspect of this exercise will end on Monday the 15th of January 2024. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Monday the 22nd of January 2024. All GCOM registration offices will be open Mondays to Fridays from 8 hours to 18 hours, Saturdays and Sundays from 10 hours to 14 hours. For further information, contact GCOM at 225-027829 or visit our website at www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. On Tuesday, a joint operation between the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit and the Guyana Revenue Authority uncovered an abandoned vessel in number 65 Village, currently in Berbice. Several cases of uncustomed alcohol and various contraband items were found in the vessel. The items were transported to the GRA facility for further proceedings. CANU remains committed to collaborating with other law enforcement agencies to prevent the trafficking of narcotics and the smuggling of contraband goods. Moving on, 63 women are now in the position to become entrepreneurs or perfect their craft with support from the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security. On Monday, the women received sewing machines and gas stoves and accredited certificates for participating in the Ministry's Women Innovation and Investment Network, culinary and garment construction courses. The distribution exercise is the collaborative effort of the Ministry and the UN Women geared towards women empowerment through financial stability. Minister of Human Services and Social Security Dr. Vindhya Prasad explained that the program was created to allow women to move from being dependent to independent. Meanwhile, the participants expressed gratitude, noting that the initiative empowers women to be constructive in helping themselves. In other news, as the government continues to uphold its pledge to assist small business development in Guyana, small business owners in Region 4 received their small business grants on Tuesday via the Small Business Bureau. Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Wanij Waldron, while speaking at the handing over ceremony at the Arthur Chung Convention Center, noted that the distribution covers applications from 2023, a total of which 398 were approved. Similar distributions will be held in other parts of the country shortly. Minister Waldron noted that the small business sector is a priority for the government because when small businesses thrive, the economy thrives. She stated that in 2022 alone, the government distributed almost 1,500 small business grants, close to 2,000 in 2020 and 2021. The recipients expressed gratitude for the assistance, noting the positive impact on their businesses. Don't go away after the break. Cholera outbreak spreads in Zimbabwe, and World Bank annual report predictions 2020s could be a decade of wasted opportunity.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sneak daily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
GCOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors OLE. If you will be 18 years or over by December 31st, 2023, and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM has posted the preliminary list of electors PLE in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. If you have changed your address since you were registered, you are required to visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your new area of residence to apply for a transfer. Monday, 15 January 2024 is the last day on which you can apply for a transfer. For further information, contact GCOM at 225-0278-9 or visit our website at www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Police in Ecuador says at least 10 people have been killed in recent gang violence. On Tuesday, a group of armed men broke into a television station during a live broadcast and threatened the staff in Guayaquil. Al Jazeera's Alexandra Rampieti reports.
The live footage showed hooded armed men storming this TV station in Guayaquil and taking the host and crew hostage. Shots were heard on the set as journalists begged not to be harmed before the signal was cut off. It was the most brazen attack in a day of chaos across Ecuador. Gang members detonated car bombs, attacked universities, and kidnapped or killed policemen in several cities in a declaration of war against the government of President Daniel Noboa and his attempts at a security crackdown. The 35-year-old president, who began his term less than 2 months ago, responded by declaring a state of internal conflict a day after decreeing a 60-day state of emergency and nighttime curfew. He named 22 gangs as terrorist organizations and military targets.
From this moment, every terrorist group mentioned in the decree has become a military target. The present and future of our country is at play. We will not desist or negotiate.
The crisis has escalated following the escape from prison on Sunday of Adolfo Macias, better known as Fito, Ecuador's most powerful drug lord, before he could be transferred to a different prison. The violence broke out in the coastal city of Guayaquil and Esmeralda, but has extended to the capital Quito and even to safe and peaceful tourist locations like Cuenca.
All citizens are afraid. Today there are attacks in Quito, Cuenca, Quevedo, everywhere.
The police arrested 13 gunmen who allegedly took over the television station and freed the hostages, but they have been unable to stop the rest of the mayhem. Neighboring Peru also declared an emergency along its northern border. In recent years, Ecuador has been living through an unprecedented security crisis fueled by drug trafficking that authorities have failed to address, turning it into Latin America's most dangerous country.
We all know that when there are attempts to transfer powerful prisoners, violence occurs. The question is why the government is unable to take preventive measures.
The escalation of violence was a time bomb that has exploded in President Noboa's hands, and so far nobody has been able to break the link between the prison gangs and the violence that has brought Ecuador to unprecedented levels of chaos and fear. Alessandro Rampietti, Al Jazeera, Quito.
Internationally, a cholera outbreak has spread across all 10 provinces in Zimbabwe, killing a number of people. It is also spreading to neighboring countries, including Zambia and Mozambique. Al Jazeera's Famida Miller reports.
Yet another funeral for a victim of cholera, this time in Chiweshe, north of the capital Harare.
For us it is painful. With this disease we could not even see his face for the last time. We don't feel that we gave him the last respect. He died of cholera and the disease could spread from here.
And it is spreading, with at least 10 people who attended this funeral reporting symptoms of the disease within days. The government says it's concerned such gatherings are worsening the outbreak. Last year, it limited the number of people attending burials and other public gatherings. About 300 people have died since February last year. A quarter passed away in the last month alone after suffering from symptoms like diarrhea, vomiting and weakness. So far, 16,000 people have contracted the waterborne disease. The government says it's working to increase supplies of clean water, and it's begun cleaning up sewage and refuse in public areas. But it's been unable to stop street vendors from selling food that some fear could worsen the spread of the disease. The government says it's doing what it can to keep people safe.
We don't have enough vaccines to cover the whole country, but we have mapped out the districts that are affected where we would target vaccination, and we have come up with a target population of 1.9 something million. So we have just rounded it up to say we require about 2 million doses.
But the World Health Organization says global supplies of oral cholera vaccines are limited. The cholera outbreak has also affected neighboring Zambia. Since October, more than 6,200 people have become infected and about 250 have died.
It's important that the community response becomes stronger. I think that's where there is a weakness. The community still takes it, easy. I saw many young men walking in, they are already infected.
In Mozambique, more than 8,200 infections have been reported. And with tens of thousands of migrant workers returning from Zimbabwe to South Africa following the Christmas holidays, health authorities have increased screening at borders to try and stop the spread. Famida Miller, Al Jazeera.
And finally, the World Bank has predicted that the 2020s will go down as a decade of wasted opportunity without a major course change in the global economy. The influential body's annual report also painted a gloomy picture for the world's developing economies. Al Jazeera's Gabriel Alonso reports.
The world is on pace to have the slowest economic growth in the past 3 decades. That, according to a new report by the World Bank. Global trade this year is expected to only be half of the average of pre-COVID levels. The slowdown affects all regions and all countries. Growth in advanced economies is set to slow to a meager 1.2%. Developing countries are expected to grow just 3.9%, less than previous years. And while some of it's due to lingering effects from the COVID pandemic, there is also more at play.
Inflation went up, interest rates went up to record levels, so financing conditions are much tighter. You have a war in Europe, a Russian invasion of Ukraine. You have a major conflict in the Middle East. And let's don't forget about the climate-related natural disasters we are seeing. Higher frequency and much larger cost.
When the world economy slows, it's often the most vulnerable who suffer the most. The World Bank report says by the end of this year, 1 out of every 4 developing countries will be poorer than they were before the pandemic.
One of the few positives to come out of this report is that authors predict the risk of a global recession is now diminishing, primarily because of the strength of the U.S. economy. But overall, the report is somber reading about a world with slowing economic growth. Gabriel Zondo, Al Jazeera, New York.
This brings us to the end of the global and regional news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's Safe TV2 Headline News for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.